Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Celestial Oracle Codes. If you're new here, do consider subscribing. We would love to have you around. Take a deep breath with me now, because this message is not about chasing. This message is not about forcing clarity. This message is not about giving your power away to someone else's silence. This is about truth. The truth about their feelings, the truth about what has been hidden, the truth about what their soul may have already known. Even when their ego, their fear, their pride, or their circumstance, or ignorance would not let them fully admit. But you saw the truth. It's really coming on strong here. So let's get a good storyline. Oh yeah. Truth came out. Some betrayals, happy in the end. I love it. Okay, so let me just, because of the type of reading that this is, certain suits mean certain things from the tarot in this reading. So, because I've got some swords out here, right? This person is overthinking. Their mind may be louder than their heart right now. So, it's almost like it's catching up. The pentacles coming out right here. This is about whether their feelings can become something stable and real, honestly. And the Ten of Cups coming out over here, well, this confirms that there is emotional energy here. Whether they've shown it or not, the heart space is active. And ultimately, whether they're admitting it or not, there's more emotional attachment there than they would like to admit, right? There's an excess of emotional attachment in this energy. So okay. So you've been very balanced in your actions. You will be successful at whatever your personal endeavors and your aspirations are. So that is a confirmation for someone. Ultimately, what it's showing, the energy that it's giving, I guess, is, for the first thing, the energy that it gives is that this person has been carrying more emotion than they've been expressing, right? This does not feel simple. This does not feel like someone who felt nothing and moved on easily. This feels like someone who may have tried to convince themselves that they were fine. Yeah. Five of Cups in reverse. So they tried to convince someone that they were fine, ultimately hurting themselves in the long run. Maybe they practiced some kind of deceit or betrayal, or some kind of, seven of swords in reverse. So maybe they experienced some kind of betrayal, but ultimately one thing that they did was they either stole your peace of mind and your happiness or your time or even material possessions with you, with this coming in reverse. And it shows that it already happened. So, but any of those things could have been what they did. But I'm going to tell you what else they did. They also did this to others. So there was something in connection or correlation to you where they stole a lot of peace from a lot of people around and behind you. So I don't take that however it resonates. Ultimately, this does not feel like someone who felt nothing and moved on easily, right? This feels like someone who may have tried to convince themselves that they were fine, tried to stay busy, tried to distract themselves, tried to tell themselves it was not that deep, or I can move forward. I don't need to deal with this right now. I don't have to deal with this. I can just sweep this under the rug. I can just dissolve this and let it go. No, that's not how that works. This is energy. So their inner world has not matched the image that they've projected. On the outside, they may have appeared calm, detached, unavailable, distracted, prideful, stubborn, or emotionally unreadable. But inside, there's movement, there's reflection, there's discomfort, there's longing, there's memory, there's emotional residue that has not yet gone away. And it's causing an indecisiveness in you. So you know your worth. You know your worth, and you know that you deserve it all. It looks like it. You know that you're significant. You also know that you're attractive and magnetizing. So you know that you're going to get what you want eventually. But at the end of the day, something about this situation has caused you to release control over your outer mastery of your actions and ultimately the approach to the way you accomplish your desires. So they may have put the connection in a mental box and said, I'll deal with that later. But the heart does not always obey the mind, right? And we've got a lot of swords coming out here. So this shows that whatever they've done hurt them in the long run. It truly, truly did. And when someone genuinely feels something but does not have the emotional maturity, courage, and timing or stability to face it, that feeling does not disappear, right? Because the heart doesn't always obey the mind. It goes underground. It shows up in dreams. It shows up in nostalgia. It shows up in comparisons. It shows up when they hear a song. It shows up when they see something that reminds them of you. It shows up in quiet moments when there's no distractions left. And that's what I feel here. This person has been more affected than they wanted you to know. What they actually feel, the truth about their feelings is that they care. For many of you, they care deeply, but their way of caring may not have looked safe, consistent, mature, or emotionally available. And that is important to say because sometimes someone can have real feelings and still not have the capacity to love you properly. I'm hearing someone can miss you and still not know how to communicate. Someone can desire you and still be afraid of intimacy. Someone can feel connected to you and still sabotage the connection. Someone can know you are meaningful and still act from fear, immaturity, ego, or even avoidance. So the truth is not simply they love you, so everything is fine. No. The deeper truth is their feelings are real, but their relationship with those feelings has been complicated. They may feel tenderness towards you, they may feel regret, they may feel attraction, feel emotional attachment, feel curiosity about where things could have gone, feel unsettled by the way things happen. They may feel a pull they cannot fully explain. And for some of you, they feel love. Straight up, straight out. They feel love, but this love may be buried under fear. Yeah, multiple types of fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, fear of being seen too deeply, fear of not being enough, fear of losing control, fear of having to change, right? Fear of admitting that you mattered more than they wanted to admit in the first place. And this person may not have expected you to reach the place inside them that you reached. Ultimately, they may have thought that you could they could handle you or handle the energy of you, the connection casually, right? They may have thought that they could keep emotional distance and that would be enough. They may have thought that they could control the pace, the depth, the access, right? The outcome and the delivery of the concretization of it into reality. They just felt like they could control all of that. Or for some of you, they tried to control it and keep it from concretizing it into reality. And that was another hindrance to this, right? That was the walk away. That was the dissolving of it. And that was the confusion where we're like, well, what happened? Kind of deal. So they may have thought that they could handle the connection casually, but something about you bypassed their defenses. They couldn't get away with that with you. It didn't work for them. Yeah, so they may have thought that they could control or steer the direction of the outcome. But something about you bypassed their defenses. Your energy got in, your presence stayed, your absence spoke, and now the truth of their feelings is harder for them to deny. Now, let's go deeper, right? Just a little deeper. So we've got, yeah, so ultimately, they may be used to performing strength. They may be used to staying in control. They may be used to acting like they don't need anyone. They may be used to keeping things light so they don't have to face deeper accountability. Yeah, they're not used to being emotionally honest in real time, honestly. You may have seen through them in some way with the justice card coming out. So you may have seen through them in some way. Ultimately, right? Whatever was keeping you bound and held, and whatever they were doing, showed you the truth and led to your awakening. Not in a judgmental way, not in a forceful way, but your energy may have made them feel emotionally visible, right? And for someone who's not used to being truly seen, that can feel both beautiful and terrifying. So they may have felt drawn to you and intimidated by you at the same time. Drawn because your energy felt familiar, healing, magnetic, or soul level. Intimidated because your presence required truth. This is someone who may have realized that they could not play the same emotional games with you forever. It was a hard truth for them to come by. They cannot stay half present forever. They cannot keep hiding behind vague energy forever. They could not keep, I'm hearing, pretending that nothing was happening when something clearly was forever. And when someone is not ready to rise into that level of honesty, they may pull back. Not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much and do not know what to do with it. For some of you, they also hid their feelings because admitting the truth would require accountability. They would have to admit they mishandled something. They would have to admit they were not as unaffected as they appeared. They would have to admit that their actions did not fully match their heart. They'd have to face where they chose fear over presence, I'm hearing. And that is not easy for someone who has been protecting their ego. There's regret here. There is regret here. So, not necessarily dramatic regret where they are falling apart every day, but a deeper emotional recognition that something was not handled the way it could have been or should have been. And they may regret being unclear. They may regret making you question yourself, regret going silent, regret being dishonest or inconsistent, regret not saying what they felt. And when they had the chance, is the regret that's coming through with that. So they regret letting pride or fear speak louder than their heart. For some of you, this person did not understand your value until distance created contrast. When you were valued, when they saw others valuing you, and when you were available, when you were loving, when you were open, kind, patient, or energetically present, they may have taken that for granted. And then as soon as they saw others valuing you, they started to see the worth and value in you. So it's not always maliciously. Sometimes people take for granted what they have not yet developed the capacity to honor, right? It's just a sense of intellectual and emotional immaturity. But when your energy shifted, something in them noticed. When you stopped overextending, when you stopped explaining, stopped chasing clarity from someone who was not offering it, and you return to yourself. They felt that. And for many of you, your withdrawal or energetic detachment revealed the truth. They realized your presence was not ordinary. They realized your care was not something they could easily replace. They realized the connection had a depth they were trying not to name. And now there is this energy of, I should have handled that differently somehow. Somehow I could have helped to steer this in a better light or a better way. So, what do they miss? They miss your energy. They miss how you said some of the most enlifting, positive, and awe inspiring, empowering, and loving things to them that they have ever heard. No one's talked to them in the way that you have, or approached them with the lightheartedness that you have. Seen and being a sense of nurturing, kindness, support, caring, attentiveness like you were. For some, they miss your conversations. They miss the emotional safety. They miss your softness, your strength, your attention, the way your presence brought something alive in them. They miss how you made them feel, and they miss your energy. For some of you, they miss the way you understood things. They miss your humor, your voice, your warmth, your spiritual depth, your emotional intelligence, your ability to make them feel like there was more to life than the routine they were stuck in. And they had this almost obligation, right, and duty, this gift that was waiting for them once they embraced their passions and became the full embodiment of themselves. So you may have activated something in this person, not just romance. You may have activated their deeper self, their hidden heart, their inner child, their longing for real connection, their desire to be better, their desire for destiny, their awareness of where they've been emotionally unavailable. And that's why this connection may feel unforgettable to you, because it was not only about attraction, right? So it's unforgettable for them and you, because you imprinted on them at the same time they imprinted on you. And you showed them what emotional presence could feel like. You showed them what being seen could feel like. You even showed them what someone respecting spiritual law is like. You showed them the part of themselves they had been avoiding. And that is not easy to forget. So what they're not saying is, I still think about you. I did not handle this the way I should have. You affected me more than I admitted. I was scared, right? I did not know how to meet you at the depth you deserve. I felt something real, but I did not know how to protect it. I missed the version of myself I felt around you. I compare other people to your energy. I wonder if you still feel me. I wonder if it is too late. Now, again, this doesn't mean you stop your life and wait. This does not mean you excuse poor behavior. This does not mean you abandon your healing because someone secretly has feelings. A hidden feeling is not the same as a healthy relationship. A private regret is not the same as repair. And a spiritual connection is not the same as consistent emotional availability. So we stay grounded here. But yes, for many of you, this person has not said the whole truth. They have been holding back, and they have been hiding behind silence, pride, timing, excuses, confusion, or emotional self protection. And beneath that, there is feeling. Their current inner conflict, this person is truly pulled in two directions. One part of them wants to move toward you. That part wants to speak, wants to explain, wants to know if the door is still open, wants to reconnect, apologize, clarify, or at least feel your energy again. But another part of them is afraid of being rejected, afraid of being held accountable, afraid of having to be honest, afraid that you've changed, afraid that you no longer need them, afraid that they can't return casually, because your energy now demands more truth. And this is where the tension is, because your growth may be making it harder for them to approach you in the old way. They may sense that they can't come back with half truths, mixed signals, or emotional crumbs. They may sense that your standards have shifted. They may feel that your softness is still here and there, but your access has changed. And that's powerful because now the connection is no longer operating from the old dynamic. If they come forward, they may have to come forward differently. Not perfectly, but more honestly. Not with performance, but with accountability. Not just with desire, but with respect. What their soul is learning emotional honesty. That's what's coming through. Their soul is learning emotional honesty. Their soul is learning that control is not the same as safety. Their soul is learning that avoiding the heart does not prevent pain, it only delays truth. And their soul is learning that true love or love in general cannot fully grow where someone refuses to be present. Their soul is learning that silence can protect the ego while wounding the connection, right? So silence can always protect your ego, but when we are dealing with soul aligned connections, mutually beneficial connections, or just connections in general, silence is toxic and poisonous. And their soul is learning that, right? Silence can protect the ego, oh yeah, all day, but it's completely poisonous and toxic. It's so wounding for any kind of connection that you want to make. So their soul is learning that real intimacy requires courage as well. And for many of you, you were part of that lesson. Not because you had to fix them, and not because you had to wait forever, not because you had to sacrifice yourself to teach them, but because your presence revealed something. You became a mirror, and sometimes the soul recognizes the mirror before the personality is ready to accept it. That's what I feel here. On a soul level, they know this connection meant something, but on a human level, they may still be learning how to hold that truth responsibly. Beautiful soul, what you need to know is this: your intention was not wrong. You were not imagining the depth. You were not crazy for feeling that there was more beneath the surface. You were not foolish for sensing that their actions and their energy did not fully match. But you are also being guided not to abandon yourself just because you are right. Being right about their feelings does not mean you owe them unlimited access. Being right about the connection does not mean you accept confusion. And being right about their regret does not mean you pause your life. The revelation is meant to free you, not trap you. It is meant to give you peace to the part of you that wondered, did I imagine it? Right? To all the pieces and parts of you that are in confusion, that are in denial, that are in dismay. No, for many of you, you did not imagine it. Okay? So this is confirmation. But now the deeper question is not only how do they feel? The deeper question is, can they show up in a way that honors what they feel? Because feelings are sacred, but behavior is revealing. Energy is real, but consistency matters. A soul connection can be powerful, but your nervous system also deserves peace. So Spirit is saying, receive the truth, but stay on the throne. Do not collapse back into waiting. Do not return to overgiving. Do not chase a confession. Do not make their hidden feelings more important than your visible healing. And you are being asked to remain sovereign. The likely outcome or the way that things are going to go for you, because I know we all want to know. We all want to know. So, a subtle check in, right? There could be a message, a subtle check in of you, a like, a follow, or an indirect sign of attention, a conversation that begins casually but carries deeper emotional weight, an apology, a confession, a moment where they test the waters to see how you respond. But for some of you, the movement may first happen energetically before it happens physically. You may feel them strongly. You may dream about them. You may suddenly think of them after a period of peace. You may see or sense their aura. Interesting. You may sense their regret or longing in the field. And when that happens, ground yourself. Do not immediately assume you need to act. Observe. Let reality confirm energy. If they are meant to speak, let them speak. If they are meant to repair, let them show repair. If they are meant to return differently, let their actions reveal the difference. This is not about closing your heart. This is about keeping your heart open without leaving your throne. And that is the balance. The direct message from their higher self. Channeling in the direct message from their higher self, if their higher self could speak, it might say, I felt more than I showed you. I know I made things confusing. There were moments when I wanted to be honest, but I pulled back. You reached a part of me that I was not prepared to face. I may have acted detached, but I was not untouched. I may have gone silent, but I need you, and I did not forget. I have thought about what happened between us more than you know. There are things I wish I had said. There are things I wish I had done differently. And even if I have not found the courage to say it directly in my embodied state, the truth is that you mattered. You still matter. But I also know that feelings alone may not be enough. I know I would have to show you something different. I know I cannot just come back the same way and expect the same access. And maybe that is what scares me most, because I can feel that you've changed, right? I can feel that you are stronger now. I can feel that your love is still powerful, but your self respect is louder. And part of me is afraid that I realize the truth too late. Message from their higher self. So at the end of the day, your guidance is to stay emotionally centered. Do not use this reading to reopen a wound that is trying to heal. Use it to validate what your soul already knew. Use it to release confusion. Use it to stop questioning your intuition. Use it to remember that you're not powerless in this connection. You do not need to force anyone to reveal their feelings. Truth has a way of rising, and what is meant to be addressed will be addressed. Trust me. Your work now is to remain in your dignity. Keep living, keep glowing, keep growing, keep glowing up, keep shining your light, keep creating, keep healing, keep your joy alive, keep being the shot of life and the ray of sunshine that you are. Keep listening to your body, keep honoring your standards, keep choosing yourself. And if this person comes forward, do not only listen to the emotion, listen to the accountability, okay? Listen to the consistency. Listen to the respect. Listen to the clarity I'm hearing. Because the next chapter cannot be built on the same foundation that created the confusion. There must be a different energy. There must be truth. There must be transparency. There must be maturity. There must be action. There must be emotional responsibility. And if that is not present, you do not have to punish them. You simply choose peace, like you've already done this time around. And I am eternally grateful and powerful and eternally I am eternally grateful for your presence and that you are so empowered. Okay? So the truth about their feelings is finally being revealed. They cared more than they showed, okay? They were affected more than they admitted, and they have thought about you more than they let on. For many of you, they regret how they handled the connection altogether. They may miss you. They may long for you. They may feel pulled towards you. They may still be processing what this connection awakened inside of them. But your power is not in knowing that they feel something. Your power is in knowing that you are worthy of feeling whatever it is you desire, and that you are worthy of feelings that are honored through action. You are worthy of clear love. You are worthy of mature communication. You are worthy of sovereignty. You are worthy of emotional safety. You are worthy of presence. You are worthy of someone who does not just feel deeply, but shows up honestly, right? So let this message bring peace to your heart. You did not imagine the connection. No, 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 you did not. No, you did not. You did not imagine the depth, and you did not imagine the energetic truth. But now you are being asked to trust yourself more than you trust potential. Trust what is shown. Trust what is consistent. Trust what brings peace. And most of all, trust what honors your spirit. And above all of that, trust that what is truly aligned with you will not require you to abandon yourself in order to receive it. If this message resonated, take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment. The truth is revealed, and I remain sovereign. Right? Anchor that in below in the comments. That lets me know this message found the soul it was meant to reach. And as always, beautiful soul, I love you. I honor you. I am so, so proud of you. May clarity replace confusion. May truth rise gently. May your heart remain open but never unguarded and forever healed. And may what is real come forward in divine timing with honesty, maturity, and peace. And so it is.